agents working this market. If you're a first-time home buyer, what a great place to go. These people are geared to work with you or anybody in this market. They'll take you through that buying process, looking for your first home, make it a great experience. Contact the folks at John Murray Haltom's Century 21 Action Realty Team. Got a property you want to rent, looking to rent a home, whatever you're looking for in real estate, you talk to them. 668-7700, John Murray Haltom and the Century 21 Action Realty Team. HBO is talking about that series Confederate, and that's raising some eyebrows out there. Kind of keep your eye on that. Today in Washington, D.C., a new White House Chief of Staff, John Kelly. Man, you picked a fine time to take over, right? Russia, Syria, Iran, North Korea, Venezuela, what's going on, and a health care bill that is stalled, and relationships that are stressed. He's got the title Chief of Staff. Does he have the power? We'll know shortly, and so will he. Meanwhile, in Venezuela, once one of the wealthiest nations in the Western Hemisphere, and look at it now, violence, chaos, a questioned election. Has democracy ended there? That is a question today. Russia says the United States will have to work with 750 less diplomatic personnel. How many diplomatic personnel do we have over there? Anyway, that's a retaliation for the additional sanctions that we have just passed. North Korea's recent intercontinental ballistic missile test was by far its most successful. On the domestic side, Mitch McConnell said last week on health care, it's time to move on to other things. And the President Trump, initially said, let Obamacare implode and then deal. But over the weekend, the President said, don't give up on Senate Republicans, and Senate Republicans don't give up. The President campaigned that we're going to replace Obamacare with something wonderful. It's really clear now that the President and his staff had absolutely no plan, and apparently the House and Senate did not either. Anybody up there that can put something together that's better, leadership can't or hasn't. Somebody else put together a coalition that can make something happen, we'll see. In Jackson, Madison County, believe it or not, it's time to get back to school. That comes up Friday this week, so those blinking lights and everything else, school zones, get ready. Those buses will be rolling by the end of the week. Jackson City Council member Johnny Dodd is sponsoring this Friday what he's calling a Men on the Move tour. That tour will be a meet and greet for students as they arrive for school at Jackson Career and Technology Friday morning at 7:30. Councilman Dodd is asking men from all over the city and from all walks of life to be there to greet these students. If you'd like to know more about how to participate in this, call the councilman at 616-6475. First day of school, Friday. Okay, I've read it. Don't know why. New York Times says in 2003 that Iceland welcomed 308,000 foreign adventure seekers. Last year, 2016, that figure hit 1.8 million. What's going on there? Going to Iceland for adventure seeking, and I don't know why. For perspective, the Game Boy, the handheld video game device, it was released in the United States this date in 1989. And for perspective, the folks that will vote in next year's election will have been born in 2000. Cardinals over the Diamondbacks yesterday 3-2. The Cubs over the Brewers 4-2. The Phillies beat the Braves 2-1. Cardinals will get back to play in Milwaukee Tuesday at 6:40. They're off today. Coming out of the weekend in the American League West. In the American League West, the Astros have a 16-game lead. It doesn't matter who's in second, unless you go in a wild card out there. In the American League Central, the Indians have a 2-game lead over the Royals. In the American League East, the Yankees come out with a half-game lead over the Red Sox. That battle is on. In the National League West, the Dodgers over the Diamondbacks by 14 games. It's not much better in the East, where the Nationals lead the Marlins by 13 games and the Braves by 14. It is closer in the Central. Cubs have a 2.5-game lead over the Brewers, and they're 4.5 ahead of the Redbirds. Jackson Generals lost 4-2 last night. They're 9 games behind division-leading Chattanooga. The Jackson Generals are at home through Thursday. Have a series underway with Tennessee. Lost the first game. We got 4 more to go at 6:05 each night, starting tonight through Thursday. Then they go on the road for 10 games plus a travel day. They won't be back at the ballpark after this week until the 16th day of August. Milt Canavan will be with us in about 1 hour, and we'll do sports and get his perspective on everything that happened over the weekend, from NASCAR to golf to whatever. Tom Mapes is with us, and he is the king of the charts. We're talking about the work of Phil Spector as a record producer, and he worked a lot with girl groups, but not exclusively with girl groups, and had a huge, huge hit when he found these guys.
Let me tell you, let me tell you how important this song was. The Righteous Brothers with You've Lost That Lovin' Feelin' charted in December of '64, was huge in '65, and listen to this. This song is listed by BMI as the song with most U.S. airplay in the 20th century. You
You're
believe that?
kidding.
Not only that, and listen, this song was the first $8 million performing song according to BMI. First $8 million.
Son.
That's how big this was.
Hope everybody kept the money.
Bobby Hatfield and Bill Medley. Of course, Hatfield's gone now.
Yeah.
But what a team, the Righteous Brothers. And Phil Spector wrote this song along with Barry Mann and Cynthia Weil.
So he wrote this.
Yeah, he wrote it and produced it.
And they did it. And one of the shows, Hullabaloo or Shindig, I thought that they were the most frequent host of that show.
Yep, absolutely. They were huge during those years in the 60s.
And this was the most played song in the 20th
century, according to BMI.
Never close your eyes anymore.